Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. It's time for cash tags. For that, let's bring in our next guest. That's Landon Chuan, co-founder of Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, Meta Platforms. I wanted to talk about this stock because it was the only Mag 7 name that was positive, but now sliding about 4% today. But what kind of data are you guys seeing? I mean, this stock's in bear market territory off of those all-time highs.
It is. You gave them the jinx. You know, you're right there, 1 out of 7, and they just turned the wrong way. But you know what? If you zoom out, they're actually doing pretty good. They're, flat on the year, down on the year barely, but still up significantly year over year. And 3-year chart is beautiful. I mean, we just got a pullback right now, right? But I think when you look at overall what's going on with ad platforms, just in general, we're seeing a pretty big pullback as far as interest in advertising on these platforms, about 18% on a year-over-year basis. So I think a lot of that is actually priced in. You've had the elections last year, you had the Olympics last year. It was a great time to be an ad seller. But now across all of the platforms, this is Reddit, this is Facebook, Instagram, all of them combined. And this is a combination of traffic to the ad platform site, not to the websites themselves. So this is basically interest in advertising on these sites. It's down 18% year over year. I think a lot of that is priced in moving forward. And when you look at the actual traffic of the websites themselves, not the ad platforms traffic, you can see that Reddit's kind of leading the way. I mean, they're very strong. Some of the Facebook properties are falling behind a little bit. Some of the Meta properties are falling behind a little bit. But overall, in general, the traffic for these other sites are doing fairly well, but the ad platform sites are not. So, when you look at them, obviously, when it comes to Meta, Instagram is kind of the star. But we see some other positive things. I mean, Reels is getting a better sentiment out of the user experience than TikTok. But it's getting a more positive experience. That's a lot of things that we're reading. Also, we know that Instagram and Reels are up about 10% on a year-over-year basis. And here you can see all of the different properties. Again, this is the visits to them sites themselves. This is more the consumer visits as opposed to the ad visits. Reddit's leading the way here. Snapchat obviously doing well. Instagram is the best of the Meta platforms, with Facebook and WhatsApp lagging behind severely. But overall, I think that they're moving kind of in the right direction. Their ad revenue is up 21% on a year-over-year basis. They're using AI to help their algorithm with ad placements and better buy ad opportunities. They had a good fourth quarter. Revenue was up 24%. Earnings per share beat pretty solidly. They didn't kill the guidance. They didn't crush the guidance so well. So they kind of, were a little bit flat on that. But overall, I think if you look at Meta as an investor, a year ago, you might say, all right, we're all in Instagram. Is that what we're doing? And for the most part, that's been sort of the direction. WhatsApp is catching up. Facebook is, they're hanging in there. I think Reels is starting to pick up some traction. But overall, I think the key to this company is knowing that they invest in the future. They have significant investment into AI and into the wearable AI glasses, which, maybe it's a hit, maybe it's not, but they're trying. And I think that eventually, if they can get that product down to where it needs to be and to where it's reasonable looking and actually usable, it could be a home run. I do think there's a lot of open territory that I think Google is going to open the fields a little bit, because if you think about what search used to be, when you wanted an answer to a question, you'd go to Google and you'd get an answer. Nowadays, you go to Google and you get ads and you get articles and you just want an answer. And I think that's where AI is kind of stepping in. Meta realizes that. They see that opportunity. They're investing a lot of money into Llama. They're up to 700 million monthly active users, up from 600 in December. So they're moving in the right direction. They're going to compete. I think the entire search and query space is kind of re-up for grabs. I think Google's going to lose a lot of their stronghold there. So it is a big opportunity for Meta, and I like the fact that they're investing heavily in that.
Landon, you brought up a really interesting point that, when you get an election year like we had, you have to plan for two things, right? The spike in ad volume and then the eventual drop off of that same ad volume. So, all of us agreed back at the end of the year, early February, that this stock had run extremely far. It was so incredibly overbought. Well, it's almost oversold now, right? We all agree that it was overbought up there, and now it's dropped, I see 19.1% in the last month on my screen. This is a company still doing well in digital advertising. This is a company with record profits in the family of their apps. Isn't this just one of those things where this stock was a little overbought? The global sell-off, encompasses all these names, and you should wait for a really good company and pick your spot and enter this stock because, unfortunately, Landon, we're probably about 9 months away from advertising for the midterm elections, right? And that'll be just as important, if not more, for some people. So, this is just one of those good companies sell off in global sell-offs, and this company was a little overbought to begin with.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you're an investor, you got to zoom out, pick a 3 or 5 year chart, and then kind of count your blessings because things were better a couple months ago, but still, this has been a heck of a run for this company, and eventually, companies do get overbought, they sell off. But if you're going to think about a company to invest, how about a company that has 3.3 billion daily active users? I mean, that's insane. That's almost half the population of the earth. And so the fact that they have that many users, every time they try a new product, they can swing and miss 10 times, but if they hit one, they've got 3 billion people that are ready to use it and monetize it. So that's why I really like them investing into all these new things and trying different things. They've had some success and some sort of failures, but the scale and the asymmetrical bet that they're taking every time they invent something new or try a new technology is just unbelievable because of the user base. I mean, another company, a smaller company, can come out with a better product, and Meta can be a year late with a slightly worse product, but Meta will win that battle because they've got 3 billion people ready to try it, and they can just push it right to them. Whereas the other one, it's all about the product, and they can't get the users. So they have such an advantage, and that's why I love having money in companies that have this kind of advantage, this kind of distribution. They're like the Walmart of digital, right? I mean, they have ultimate distribution. So the fact that they're investing in AI, the fact that they're pushing to try to invent new products like the wearable AI glasses, maybe it's a hit, maybe it's a miss, but they're eventually going to have another hit. And you can just see what they did with Instagram. I mean, that was many years ago with that acquisition, but they're doing very well with products that they get in on. And again, I think there's a wide open territory coming with search and query where people want answers to questions. And I think it's going to move away from Google if they're not careful. And who knows where all of that volume could go into. I think Meta's going to try to take a piece out of it. But yeah, overall, sure, they're down 20-something% in a month. But zoom out, this is more of a buying opportunity than anything. This is not the collapse of Meta by any means. So hopefully people that own aren't too leveraged. They can handle a little bit of a drawdown and maybe put some more money to work on this one because long term, they're a winner.
Yeah, Landon, 98% of the revenue is advertising. That one chart that you guys showed kind of scared me a little bit because we're after the election, the economy's starting to tighten up a little bit. They've done a pretty good job managing their expenses. Reality Labs is still garbage and still wasting money on that at this point. But if we were going into earnings, would you guys be buyers on this dip according to your data, or would you wait?
No, we're getting there. So if you guys remember, 20 is where we crossed the threshold. Like if we're at plus 20, we're at plus 18 right now, but it's up about 5 points in a week. So we're moving in the right direction. Any more sell-off and we're there. So we're that takes into account the stock price. So 20% move in a month to the wrong side is more of a buying opportunity. Give it a week, we might be over 20. So I'd say that this is a buying opportunity for sure. And again, long term, it's going to be great. And you never know. That garbage investment, I agree, so far no good. But that kind of mentality eventually produces something that you can distribute to 3 billion people, and it's an overnight success. So keep trying, keep spending money, and eventually they'll hit one.
Yep, almost oversold. RSI down to 33, and 200-day moving average at 571. So getting close to that. Also, maybe that's support. All right, great stuff as always, Landon. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.